Welcome into Giants Postgame Live. The Giants started off 2023 with a bang, a New Year's Day game. Lawrence Taylor, LT, ringing the bell to start things off here at MetLife Stadium. A beautiful day at MetLife Stadium. 50 degrees, LT out here giving it his all, much like this Giants team did with a win, and they're in situation. Welcome into Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day. Madelyn Burke alongside Super Bowl champion Shaun O'Hara, Super Bowl champion Canty. Guys, 38-10 win. The Giants are going to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Brian Daboll becomes just the sixth head coach in franchise history to take his team to the playoffs in his rookie season. Shaun, how incredible is this for this team?
Madelyn, I can't think of any better way to ring in the new year with LT ringing the bell. The Giants answered the bell today, winning in, obviously the mindset coming into it, but you could tell right out of the gate, the Giants were energized, the fans were here, they were loud. The Giants played with urgency. They understood what was at stake, and they completely dominated this game. I think when you look at all facets of it, they played exceptionally well. They looked like a playoff team the way they dominated the Colts, and here we see, oh, look at that. Brian Daboll getting the Gatorade bat. Like, that was purple right there. I think it looked like purple Gatorade.
Purple Gatorade for the prop bettors.
Bull Hurley is celebrating and loving the love fest he's getting right there from Julian. But, Chris, this place was electric. The fans, I mean, they're still here. We were talking about it. We haven't seen this much jubilation, this much excitement in a long time, but it was justified today.
Well, the Giants fans have waited a long time for this, right? They're talking about the third longest current playoff drought in the National Football League behind the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. It's unfamiliar territory for the Giants fans over the last quarter of a century, but they were finally able to get it done, and a big reason why was the masterclass performance by Daniel Jones. You talk about a guy stepping up and making a statement about being a cornerstone for a team that can be a playoff caliber squad year in, year out. That's exactly what Daniel Jones did today. 17 of the 26 first downs the Giants had on offense came from Daniel Jones. Just a tremendous performance by him. And you got to give love where love is due, credit where credit is due. Brian Daboll has done a great job in terms of being able to transform him as a player, cutting back on the turnovers, and that has led to the Giants being able to chart a path to the postseason for the first time since 2016.
Absolutely, and on the defensive side of the ball, too, this Giants team got back a pivotal piece. Xavier McKinney made his debut for the first time since injuring his hand in the bye week. He's on the field with our Paul Dottino right now.
So, Xavier, nobody knew exactly when you were going to come back, but you were able to make it back for this game. You must be incredibly thrilled to be here for the playoff clincher.
Man, I was really fighting to get back. I'm glad the staff and all the trainers, the docs allowed me to be able to come back, and this is a great feeling just being back out here with the guys and securing that win, securing the playoffs. It was good.
Any remnants of issues with the hand at all, or did it impact you?
None at all, none at all. I got a little rust on me, but we knocked it off this game. So getting back in the groove, but it's going to keep getting better from here.
What does it say about this team to have all the resiliency of all the depth chart guys who had to play while people were hurt to still make it to the postseason?
I've been saying for so long, man, we got guys at every level. No matter if it's starters, the second string, third string, it don't matter. We got a lot of guys, and we got great leaders too. When you got great leaders, you know, anybody can go out there and play and do a great job. So all we're doing is doing our jobs, man, and we're playing really well.
Thanks so much, Xavier. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
That sound from safety Xavier McKinney, brought to you by Ford. As we take a look at his numbers today, 4 tackles, 3 assists, 7 combined, 1 pass defense, as we saw him making his first game back since breaking his fingers over the bye week. As he mentioned in that interview with Paul, he really wanted to be back on the field, and it showed.
Yeah, the Giants really had great coverage on the back end, sticky when it came to being able to match up with those receivers from the Indianapolis Colts. Even if they're in zone coverage, they were in proximity to those guys, and it led to a lot of tip passes, and it led to also a pick 6 by Landon Collins. So a great job by the back end of that Giants defense. And we also got to acknowledge the pressure that the guys up front, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, were able to put on Nick Foles.
Yeah, start out the very first play of the game. Thibodeau gets the tackle for a loss. We saw Dexter Lawrence basically manhandle Quentin Nelson, one of the best and strongest guards in the NFL, just dumped him right in his lap. I think really it was one big play. There was a big play, a big throw by Nick Foles that got the ball down, I think, the 10, 15-yard line, and it was a pressure. It was an all-out blitz, and the Colts picked it up. So that was really the one big play that they gave up defensively. But that constant pressure on whoever was in at quarterback, obviously the big hit on Nick Foles that knocked him out of the game. That was Thibodeau getting home. Landon Collins with a great pick six. I mean, that was huge life. I thought the biggest moment for the defense, though, was the start of the second half. Giants come out on the first play of the game, first play of the second half. Darius Slayton puts the ball on the ground. Defense got to come out. All right, you're coming out of halftime. You're thinking you got some time. They're not ready. They go 3 and out. They hold them to kick the field goal. They missed the field goal, so no points, no blood there. So defense definitely rallied. But I want to echo what you said about Daniel Jones in this offense. I think when you look at what DJ did today, right out of the gate, he and Richie James just swinging it. He was spitting darts left and right. He completed almost 80% of his passes today. It was a little bit of a windy day, but it did not affect him at all. And then his ability with his legs to do damage, 2 rushing touchdowns. DJ, I think in front of everybody, in front of the home crowd, in front of anybody watching this game, you look at this team and you say they are not where they are right now. If it wasn't for Daniel Jones, he deserves his credit.
Daniel Jones absolutely deserves his credit. Put this team on his back, but you mentioned a lot of praise and a lot of accolades to the defense. One of the signature pieces of this Giants defense and one of the captains, Leonard Williams, is now on the field with Paul Dottino. Let's send it down.
Leonard Williams, ever since you came to the Giants, you've been talking about making the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
You're in your 8th season.
Yes, sir.
What are your emotions right now?
I mean, I feel amazing right now. The energy that the team has had all game has been amazing. It's been a long time coming, man. I've been in the league for 8 years. I've been in New York for 8 years. And we finally punched our clock, and we're in, man. We punched the ticket, and we're in.
What was it like for you the last minute or so as the clock is running down and you're watching and you know what's going to happen?
I mean, I'm just looking at my teammates in each other's eyes, and they're all really happy and excited. Everybody's like, man, we made it. You know, the time is here, the time is now, and the time is ours. And, you know, we're just all really happy a group right now.
Personally, for you to have to go through some injuries and fight and struggle to get through them,
yes, sir,
to be here and now play in this clincher must be very satisfying.
Man, it's super satisfying. It's been a long season. We've had a lot of ups and downs, but, you know, we stayed the course. We stuck with each other, and we pulled it off. I mean, you know, there's been a few close games that we needed to win, and we won them, and, you know, it paid off. All the hard work that we've been doing since OTAs has paid off, and can't be more proud of this team and these coaches.
Leonard Williams, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
We here, baby!
That sound from Leonard Williams brought to you by Ford as we take a look at his numbers today. 8 seasons in the league and the first time Leonard Williams is headed to the playoffs. All right, much more to come here on Giants Postgame Live, but first, guests of our postgame show received a gift certificate to Ben & Jack's, located on 44th Street in Manhattan. From the celebrated porterhouse to finer seafood, Ben & Jack's will surpass your expectations of what a steakhouse should be. Hey, Giants fans, the Giants have clinched a spot in the NFL playoffs. Make sure to follow along on Giants.com, the Giants app, or Giants social media to stay updated on all things Big Blue. Much more to come here on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day. After this commercial break, we'll hear from head coach Brian Daboll and much more. Stay with us. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live. The Giants have clinched a spot in the NFL playoffs. Make sure you follow along on Giants.com, the Giants app, or Giants social media to stay updated on all things Big Blue as they make their first trip back to the postseason since 2016 after a 38-10 win over the visiting Colts on New Year's Day. For more on this, let's send it down to the field where the voice of the Giants, Bob Papa, and famous 58 Carl Banks have more on the win. Fellas?
Well, Madelyn, obviously a lot of excitement here at MetLife Stadium today as the Giants punch their ticket to the postseason. And Carl, you know, nobody had the Giants going to the playoffs this season. And you thought with the salary cap situation and the roster that had to get turned over, if they could win 7 or 8 games, that would be a step in the right direction. Why is making the playoffs so important?
Because it helps move the culture of what they're trying to change forward. First thing you want to do is start to get the right type of player. Then secondly, you want to win enough games to start to build that mentality of hope. Well, both of those have been accomplished because they had a good draft, and those draft choices have contributed. They've gotten good players where they needed them in the least expected places, you know, like the scrap heap. You got an entire defensive backfield. You got wide receivers that weren't even on the roster and they're contributing. And they have a coach and player chemistry that moves the culture of winning forward.
Plus, you want some of your young, better players to get a feel for what it's like to be in the postseason. I want to go back in time because the Giants made the playoffs in 1981, but 82 was the strike year. They didn't make the playoffs. 83, Bill Parcells' first year as head coach, they were awful. You were drafted in the first round of 1984. That was a building blocks draft. You guys made the playoffs. So you could speak from experience why this is really important for this group of draft picks like Kayvon Thibodeau and for young players like Barkley and Daniel Jones and Dexter Lawrence to get this opportunity.
Yeah, I had a beleaguered quarterback my rookie year. His name was Phil Simms, right? I had a couple good veteran players on the team, like a Joe Morris. I had Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson. But we also had myself, Gary Reasons, Lionel Manuel, William Roberts. We were part of the change agents. But not just that, we had guys that were sick of losing that were already there. And so when we had a head coach in Bill Parcells who says they're going to fire my ass if we don't win, and I need to know if you guys give me your all, I'm going to give you my all. And we're like, yeah, we're all in. And that was kind of the birth of the Parcells guys. But to fast forward it, we made a wild card that year. From a 4-12-1 season before I had gotten there, it was a wild card. Then you were in a game to go to the conference finals, and then the next year you were in the Super Bowl. So don't tell me it's fool's gold when I know what a culture shift looks like. I know when players feel like they can really play hard for somebody and want to play hard for somebody because that coaching staff is all in with them.
Happy for the organization, for the Giant fan base, and the Giants are locked in as the 6th seed. They'll play the 3 seed. That's either Minnesota or San Francisco. That yet to be determined as we send it back to Madelyn.
Thanks, Bob and Carl. Great stuff as always. And for more reaction on the Giants clinching their first playoff berth since 2016, let's send it down to the field where Paul Dottino is with Julian Love.
Julian, you guys are in the playoffs. I know that's got to sound about as sweet as a song could sing.
It's been a grind all season. There's been ups and downs, but we fought, and now we're in the dance.
What do you want people to remember about this playoff run, no matter how it finishes out?
Really, what I hope everybody remembers is that the fans were a part of this. The fans were involved in this. From the first home game to this last one, the energy was electric in the stadium, and that makes a difference, and that led us to this.
What is it about this team to be able to overcome all the injuries you did and struggle and fight and then finally come through with the prize?
It's a lot of guys playing good ball. We've stayed together. We've stayed close. Guys who were hurt did their best to get back. Guys who were pointed to a role that they didn't think they'd have, they stepped up and balled. And so it's a group effort in the building, the staff, everybody's been amazing.
Julian Love, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, baby.
That sound from Julian Love brought to you by Ford as we take a look at some of the numbers from one of the Giants team captains today in the win against the Colts. Giants fans out here in full effect right now. Stoked to see those G-men in the playoffs. Finally, the first time since 2016 this team has made the postseason, fellas. I mean, we could feel the excitement around the team, the fans right now reverberating here at MetLife.
Yeah, a lot of energy. I can't believe they made that sign that fast. That's really creative of them, but no doubt the energy, the excitement, the playoff atmosphere before the game was palpable. You could definitely feel it, but to have the Giants fans experience this right now on a glorious day, on the first day of the new year, I'm excited for them for all facets of that and how big of a spectrum that covers.
Yeah, it was a lot of energy in the building. I mean, you had LT in here. You had Stephen the touchdown maker, Baker, in here. You had Carl Banks in the building. You had Otis Anderson in the building. And so having those legacy guys here to be in here and the opportunity to celebrate the playoff berth is huge. But just spinning this thing forward for the New York Giants, it feels like they're locked into the 6th seed right now going into the regular season finale against the Eagles. And if you're paying attention to what's going on, the Eagles lost to the New Orleans Saints earlier today. You're talking about the Commanders losing to the Cleveland Browns. So there really isn't a whole lot for the Giants to play for, but a ton for the Eagles to play for. It'll be interesting to see what Brian Daboll does in terms of whether or not he decides to play his starters in the regular season finale. A big decision for them. There's an argument to be made about trying to keep your momentum going, and then there's also an argument, Shaun, about trying to rest your guys.
And we're going to unpack that after the break. Plus, we're going to hear from head coach Brian Daboll. Much more to come here on Giants Postgame Live, but first make sure the New York Giants official mobile app is your destination for all things New York Giants. The updated mobile app includes the best Giants highlights, news, videos, photos, and podcasts, available for free for Apple and Android phones and tablets. Much more to come here on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day. We'll be right back after this. Giants fans ready to take repping your team to the next level? NFL All Day is the ultimate new way to showcase your Giants fandom, built for the digital world. Collect your favorite moments from stars like Saquon Barkley and use them to compete for epic fan prizes. Try it out today on NFLAllDay.com. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day. The Giants come away with a 38-10 win over the visiting Colts, clinching a playoff berth for the first time since 2016. Let's send it down to the head coach, Brian Daboll.
How's everybody doing? Good. They're good. Good team win. So means we're in the playoffs, right? So feels good. Yeah.
What do you think of your team's overall performance today?
I thought they played a good complementary game. I think all the units played well. I think the coaches had them ready to play. You know, most importantly, they were ready to play from start to finish. And, you know, when you're playing in higher stakes games, as you guys reminded me all week, I thought they did a good job of just focusing on the task at hand and doing the things we needed to do to get a win. So it's good to get a win. I don't have any injury stuff, so, yeah, good to get a win.
Coach, it seemed like Daniel put this team on his shoulders today with his legs, his arm.
Yeah.
Talk about, obviously, what you saw from him and how big he came up in this big moment.
Yeah, played well. Very efficient in the passing game. You know, used his legs well. He's done that all year, though. I mean, I've seen it all year from him.
Challenging career to this point Daniel has. Can you talk about what this moment kind of means for him?
I think that'd be a good question for him. He's a pretty level-headed guy, so I don't want to speak for him.
You seemed especially pleased with that.
Because I thought he earned it.
What was the moment like for you when you got the Gatorade bath and kind of gave the crowd a fist pump there?
It was sticky and wet. Yeah, it was good excitement, obviously. You know, you work hard in this business to try to give yourself a chance to play, you know, extra innings or more games. So we have done that, but that's, you know, put ourselves in a position to compete more than just one other game. So excitement, sure, definitely.
Coach, what does it mean for you? What does it mean for the program to make the playoffs in the first year?
I don't know. I'm just happy we won this game, and, you know, am I excited? Certainly I'm excited, but, you know, I think you just got to stick with the process that got you here. Got to get ready to play another game, and, you know, the playoffs are a different breed. You know, they're one and done, but we still got one more game before we get to those, so that's what we'll stick with that. The players will have off tomorrow and what's tomorrow, Monday? Yeah, Monday and Tuesday, and they'll be back in Wednesday. So usually we don't give that at all, but I had Daniel break down the team, so he basically gave it to everybody without talking to me. But so I said, turn the music back down. Okay, we'll go with what Daniel said.
What was it like in the locker room after you see these players? They're happy, they're excited.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, you work with these guys every day. You know, a lot of them are my kids' ages, so some of them have had some challenging times here. So I'm extremely happy for the players first and foremost, but the staff, the trainers, ownership, the coaches. But, you know, our goal is never just to, you know, it'll never be just to make the playoffs. That'll never be just our goal.
What do you think of Xavier out there today?
Huh?
What do you think about Xavier's play out there today?
I thought he was ready to go. You know, Rome came up to me. I don't know what, you know, I think it was the second quarter. We had a plan of how many reps we were going to play him. And, you know, he was communicating with Rome. He feels good, and Rome said he's playing good. So, you know, we ended up going with him until we took him out.
How much of it? He was going back into the X-ray room. McKinney was. It looked like. Was that just precautionary?
I do not know that. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody about any injury yet. I hope so. Yeah.
On Jalen's hit to Foles, did he pull off because he thought of roughing or he lost the ball? Any explanation?
You know what I told you? Ever played basketball? You have a son or a daughter that are younger, you know, and you play with them and you throw it over their head, then they look up at the net, and then you still have it. That's what I thought happened. He thought he threw it. So.
You had Landon here, and he hadn't played, and he has played, and he hasn't played. That one play, you know, is that nice?
Give me the person again. I'm sorry.
Landon Collins.
Oh, LC? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good play. Ball was thrown inside. He was on it. You know, it's funny because Wink's done a great job all year. He's calling a really good game, and, you know, I'll just, you know, chime in there once in a while with my 2 cents, not on call. It's just, I'm like, hey, this one's going to the house right here before he called it. So it went to the house. So on the sack that I think McLeod had, he's going, I'm going to one-up you here. I guarantee this is a sack. Probably going to be a strip sack, but it was a sack, so he didn't get the strip sack. So I think I won that one.
What did John Mara say to you after the game, if anything?
He said congratulations. You know, we just went in there. We talked like we normally do. You know, there's music playing. The reason why I was a little late, I couldn't sit in that Gatorade, so I had to take a shower. I'm like, Pat, I'm taking a shower right now. I'm soaked, it's sticky. So, no, he's, you know, obviously he was excited. He was happy, smiling, you know. So, again, I'm very thankful for the players, but again, you know, we made the playoffs, and I credit the players and the coaches and again the support staff for all their hard work. But you know, hopefully there's a long way to go here, but you got to take it one game at a time. Like I've told you before, it's a humbling league. You know, we'll have one more, and then you lose and you're done. You win, you keep going.
How much of your post-game message to the team was congrats, but we're not done? Because it sounds like you're saying.
No, I just said, I said congrats. Let's be a pro. Let's be smart tonight. You know, it's okay to be happy. You've achieved the first, you know, goal probably of every NFL team is to make the playoffs. Like, you don't start a season and go, oh boy, hope we win 5 games. You know, I think we're all competitors. It doesn't always go that way. You go through a lot of difficult times during the season. So I said they should enjoy it, but let's be smart. Let's be smart outside the building. You know, let's not ruin anything that, you know, we've been building towards, and this is the most important time of year now. We're in January. So do the right thing. You know, you did the right thing on the field. Let's do the right thing off the field.
A lot of these players have lost a lot before you got here.
Yeah.
What was it like to see in the locker room, you know, the joy of some of those veterans, especially, you know, who haven't tasted this at all?
Yeah, I'd say, Kim, every, you know, and obviously this was a big win because it, you know, we clinched a playoff spot. But, you know, that's what I like most about coaching is relationships. But, you know, seeing that, you know, that 2 to 3 minutes in the locker room when it's just the team, of all the hard work they put into it to try to get a result that you hope for. And I'm very thankful and appreciative for all the players, the staff, the coaches, but, you know, to see smiles on the faces, you know, that's the best time of the week for me is the 2 to 3 minutes after a game when you watch these people put so much into it to try to get a result that you want, and it's hard every week to do. So enjoy it. And then let's get back. Wanted to come back on Tuesday, but we'll come back on Wednesday.
You're in a position now. I think you're locked into the 6, if I'm not mistaken.
You would know better. You would know better than me right now.
I should know, probably. Maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong.
You are. I'm sure Pat knows. What is it, Pat?
You're 6. You're 6.
Oh, Jordan had to jump right ahead.
So, Daniel's giving them a couple of days off. I mean, any thought to if we got to pull back on some guys this week, we will, or rest?
No. No.
Any rest?
No. No. You get rest after the season. It's a long season. This is it's a fun part of the season, you know. It's a fun part of the season when you're winning. It's shitty or bad part of the season when you're losing.
We'll take a couple more.
When you say no, you haven't thought about it yet, or no, is it you're going to play all the starters next week?
I'm just going to enjoy this one right here. Go home, smoke a cigar, and hang out with my family.
Coach, can you talk about the offensive line play? Everything starts up front.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time, Daniel had a clean pocket and offensive line going downhill on the second level. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Again, that's where the game starts, is up front. The guys don't normally get their names in the paper or a bunch of articles written about them, but they do the dirty work that they need to do. And they played some really good guys up front. Those two tackles are really good football players. And I think he didn't have a sack. He didn't get sacked, right? No. And I thought Daniel made some loose plays with his feet too. You know, a couple action-type passes that he chose to run on a couple of them, and made a couple good reads on some runs. And you know, Breida finished it off pretty good. I thought him and Brightwell were running hard. You know, in some of those outside runs, and Saquon was running hard. You know, Saquon is. You know, he's always come to the sideline. You can see it in his eyes. Every time he touches the ball, he wants to go 80. So I'm like, hey, buddy, that was a really good 2-yard run. And he puts, relax, pal. It's a good 2-yard run. It'll come. Let's not go outside of doing what we need to do. But again, it was a good team win. Everybody contributed. Everybody contributed today.
When you think about the beginning of the season, the style of play, what you wanted to know, what you wanted the team to be known for, do you feel as though that's how they're playing right now?
Yeah, I mean, we try to be smart, tough, dependable. Be in the right spot, be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there. Have the playbook down for that particular week. Understand your opponent. And then fight through whether it's some mental toughness things throughout the week or physical toughness things. Again, I'm not going to stand up here and give a critique of the season. I do appreciate the question, but I think we're competing. We're playing hard. It's not always perfect. Certainly things that we could all do better. But I think they played a good game today.
The quarterback is.
Kim, did you want to ask something? I'm sorry. You good?
The quarterback is the most impactful guy on the team, right? He touches the ball more than any other player.
Every play.
Every play. Well, offensive. How much is that?
Well, of course he doesn't touch it on defense.
How much is that a box, that for Daniel to sort of check there? Like, okay, people put wins and losses on quarterbacks. Now he led you to the playoffs.
No, I mean, it's the same. Look, he played a good game. He's been playing good games for a while since we've been here. So he's making the right decisions, throwing it where he needs to throw it, taking off with his legs, playing good situational football. That's what we need from him week in and week out.
Okay. Anything else?
What did you say to Hadi on the sideline before?
Hadi?
So then you said something to him. You turn around and then he sprints back to the Gatorade.
I can't remember. I don't remember what I don't. When I talk to Hotties, I forget half the things I say to him.
All right.
See ya. You guys have a good night. Happy New Year.
That sound from head coach Brian Daboll, brought to you by Ford. Daboll becomes just the 6th head coach in Giants franchise history to take the Giants to the playoffs in his first season, as the Giants come away with a 38-10 win over the visiting Colts. Much more to come, but first, make sure you check out the Coach Daboll Show presented by Stop & Shop. We'll look back on today's game and a look ahead at next week's matchup. It's the Coach Daboll Show, airing every week on MSG and on the Giants' social media platforms. Much more to come on Giants Postgame Live after this.
Hey, man, we're in the playoffs. No, man, let's keep going. Let's keep this stuff. This stuff ain't over. We're here to win, baby. Go Big Blue.
Listen, 1-0 this week. This 1-0 is different. Made it to the playoffs, man. Go Big Blue. Let's get it.
Hey! What's up, y'all? It's Giants, man. The Collins here from the Giants, man. It's the playoffs. It's time to keep stacking them. Y'all keep on doing it. Y'all tune in. It's on. It's popping. We loving it. We having fun. Keep it, man. Hey, love, man. All smiles.
A very excited Jihad Ward, Dexter Lawrence, and Landon Collins as the Giants clinch a playoff berth. Let's send it down to the locker room where Paul Dottino is with Landon Collins for more.
Landon, 8 years in the league, and this was certainly an emotional year for you, coming to this team back as a return in October and now to make the playoffs. What's running through your head these days?
It's a great opportunity. I'm glad to be back, like I said before, and just a blessing to just be back in the locker room with these guys, having fun and playing ball. That's the biggest thing, having an opportunity, and now we have the opportunity to continue to clinch the playoffs. We clinched the playoffs, and now do our thing. You feel me?
This was the second pick six of your career. Now, the significance of it, though, in a playoff clincher has to mean a whole lot more, doesn't it?
No. No, honestly, it's just more the fact that, making a play for our team and just making sure we are set. That was the biggest thing, and just making sure with the next play, to turn the page. And even though I made the pick, now it's just finish it because that team could still come back if anything happens. So at the end of the day, let's just finish this. We made a play. On to the next thing now.
You made the playoffs with the Giants in 2016. What is it about this team that allowed it to make the playoffs besides the talent?
Oh, man, the togetherness, how steadfast this team is, how family-orientated this team is, and how everybody stays accountable, and we keep each other accountable. Everybody stays on each other just about any little thing, because that's how this thing goes.
What will you tell your teammates who have not made the playoffs about what the postseason is like and how to deal with it?
Really just like any next week, but the sense of urgency is through the roof. Every little detail, every little fine thing that we need to be perfect on, we have to be perfect on.
Landon Collins, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, boss.
That sound from Landon Collins, brought to you by Ford. What an incredible storybook moment to see him hit that 52-yard pick six in this game, Shaun.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was exciting. It was an exclamation point really on the game. And for Landon, the biggest thing that I took away from him talking right there was the chemistry of this team. He talked about togetherness. The Giants have this Together Blue moniker that they use so much, but the chemistry in this team is real.
Yeah, and you can see the accountability play out in terms of the overall production from the guys on the field, making sure that they're buttoned up. It's not a coincidence that you saw the Giants offense be able to sustain the drives that they had. 8-play drives, 10-play drives, 12-play drives. Those don't happen unless all 11 guys on the field are seeing it the same way. You don't dominate in the defensive part of the game by holding opposing quarterbacks to 124 yards passing without everybody being on the same page. So again, the chemistry and the accountability going a long ways to the Giants being able to punch their ticket to the playoffs.
This team knew that they had to win and they were focused. And we're going to continue to unpack this one on MSG2. We're going to send it over to John Giannone, though, as Rangers pregame, Rangers-Panthers coming up next on MSG. Giants postgame continues on MSG2. Stay with us for much more. After this break, we'll hear from Daniel Jones after the break. Time now for our scoring drive of the game, presented by HCL Tech, supercharging progress, the official digital transformation partner of the New York Football Giants. For the drive of the game, we take you to the fourth quarter. 8 plays, 70 yards, took 5 minutes and 11 seconds off the clock, capped by a 10-yard rushing touchdown by Daniel Jones, his second rushing touchdown of the day, expanding the Giants' lead to 38-10 and clinching the win and the playoff berth. The Giants are headed to the postseason for the first time since 2016. Let's send it down to the podium to hear more from Daniel Jones.
Special moment. A lot of guys who've put in a lot of work. We've been through some, certainly some tougher times, and feels good to be on this side of it for sure. So special moment with those guys. Really proud of this team, proud of what we did today. Grateful to be a part of it.
Daniel, is this sort of a relieving feeling? I mean, you've been here for 4 years and now finally going to the postseason. Is this a relief?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just exciting. I think, like I said, we've been through some tough times, and to be on this side of it, you know, is a lot of fun. So a lot of hard work's gone into it from a lot of different people, and like I said, I'm grateful for you know, my teammates, grateful for this organization, and you know, looking forward to a lot of work ahead.
Daniel, did you know ahead of time that you were going to come out at that point after that first down?
No, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know.
Send you back out there for that drive, and then 2 plays later, Tyrod comes in, and that was the first you learned of that your day was over?
Yeah, I mean, I think they said it might come in this drive. You know, we might take you out, but I wasn't sure what the situation was or how that was going to work out.
And what was your reaction to the reaction that you got when you came off the field? It was, you know, obviously a very warm standing ovation.
Yeah, I'm really appreciative, grateful. You know, our fans have been tremendous all year. They supported us today. They came out, brought a lot of energy. The whole game, you know, we felt it and fed off it the whole game. And yeah, grateful, really appreciative of their support for me, you know, personally, and for our team.
Yeah, you had 91 yards rushing today. Can you just share a little about your evolution from when you started in the league and running, knowing when to slide, when to go head on, to what you saw today? You took a couple of shots there on your touchdowns today.
Yeah, I think I've, you know, learned in those situations and continue to learn, continue to study where I can, where I can get down, where I can protect myself better in some of those situations. But if there's ever a chance to score or get in the end zone, obviously you're gonna try to do that. So, yeah, I've learned a lot. I think today we were running the ball well early on, and that opened up some things off of it. And the guys up front did a great job all day controlling the line of scrimmage and opened up some holes for Saquon and for me.
Daniel, not many people have had their names chanted in this building. Do you feel like today represented a personal breakthrough for you beyond just making the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm really appreciative and grateful for the support of the fans. But it's a team thing, and this was a complete team win today. All three phases played really well, and on offense we executed, did our jobs. Like I said, the guys up front played really well. Just proud of this team to come out in a game like this, opportunity to clinch the playoffs, and we put together a good game, played really well. So just proud to be a part of it.
And what has Brian Dable meant for you and for your career?
He's meant a lot. He's meant a lot. He's, I've learned a lot from him. A lot of football. I've grown a lot as a player, and I appreciate his support and giving me the chance to go out there and play. So he's helped me a lot. He's helped all of us a lot. Definitely grateful for him.
That sound from Daniel Jones brought to you by Ford. A great day from the Giants quarterback today. 177 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, added another 91 yards on the ground, and broke down the team afterwards, according to Coach Dable, and gave the team Monday and Tuesday off. He was like, all right, sure, why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're used to hearing coaches say, see you Wednesday, but you don't hear the starting quarterback say that. But I think that's a testament to the leadership that Daniel Jones has displayed this season. I don't think we can overstate the statement that he made in this game today. Arguably the most important game that he's played in since he put on a Giants uniform, and he produced at a level that I don't know that anybody in this stadium expected coming into this ball game. 4 total touchdowns. But Madelyn, son, it was the improvisation of Daniel Jones, being able to do it with his legs. He had 91 yards rushing, but the biggest part of that, 8 first downs with his legs, 2 touchdowns. He was near perfect in the red zone, 3 for 5 with 2 touchdowns passing down there. Huge performance for Daniel Jones. Coming into this season, the Giants declined his 5th-year option. It was a true prove-it year, and Daniel Jones has done such by being able to help this team punch their ticket to the postseason.
Yeah, definitely a statement game, and it's a bold move, but great job by Daniel Jones of saying it, taking the words out of Coach Dable's mouth. Hey, see you on Wednesday, and you do it like that so the coach can't jump on it. Like, otherwise, Dable's the bad guy. He's like, no, no, no. So great awareness by Daniel Jones, but as you mentioned, like, he's been layering it all season long, right? We've seen the progression of Daniel Jones. For 2 years, he was the whipping boy, all right? Giants fans were piling on with Daniel Jones, and he's not the franchise quarterback, and they just kept kicking him while he was down. The turnovers, the fumbles. I mean, every single time there was an interception or a fumble, here came the stat, and that was the narrative for Daniel Jones. It took an entire season for him to turn that narrative around, but to your point, this game was an exclamation point on Daniel Jones' season, but also his career and his future with the Giants. I think when you look at the way that he runs this offense, we are seeing his strengths right now. This offense is playing to his strengths. What you're talking about, his scrambling ability, Dable even mentioned it. There was a bunch of times where, look, there was nobody open, nowhere to go with the football. A lot of times that's a sack or a bad throw or an interception. Daniel Jones just took off and ran. Not every quarterback can do that, but kudos to Daniel Jones. And I'll say this, I was really proud for him and excited for him that he got that curtain call. The last time that happened, it was Eli Manning getting the curtain call in 2019, Week 15 against the Miami Dolphins. So good job for DJ to get that curtain call and hear the roar of the crowd.
Getting that curtain call, clinching the playoff berth, and saying, you know what, we got much more football to play. More to come here on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day. Try it out today on NFLAllDay.com. We'll be back after this.
Yeah, it's real special. It's a huge accomplishment. You got to give credit to all the guys from OTAs coming in every single day with the right mindset, with the right work ethic. You got to give credit to the coaches. And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, no one, let's be honest, no one besides the men and women in that facility gave us a chance to accomplish this. And we just stuck to the script, kept believing in each other, and, gave ourselves an opportunity, and we did it. So, but at the end of the day, still got next week to get ready for, and you want to make it to the playoff, but it's not like, I mean, making the playoff is not like you won a Super Bowl. You gave yourself a chance to compete for the Super Bowl. So just another step ahead, and we just got to keep working.
All right, that sound from Saquon Barkley brought to you by Ford. But as you said, you know what, at the end of the day, we've still got next week. What did you see from him today?
Well, for Saquon, look, you could tell he's running with purpose still, but it felt to me like they were trying to rest him a little bit at the end of the game, and rightfully so. Saquon's done so much, but you want his best energy and all his you want the best version of him as you go into the playoffs.
Yeah, and Saquon set a new career best in terms of single-season rushing total, and it's very reminiscent of what we saw from him in his first 2 years, and in a lot of ways better because this is a running back that understands the value of a forward run, and as such, he opens things up for everybody else on the offensive side of the ball. So even if he doesn't put up monster numbers, he creates opportunities for other guys to impact the game.
All right, well, Brian Dable already said the guys are going to play next week against the Eagles. We're going to unpack that after the break as Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day, comes after this. But first, check out the Eli Manning Show, presented by Panini Prism Trading Cards. All you have to do is subscribe to the Giants YouTube channel to catch all of the new shows. It's the Eli Manning Show every Thursday on the Giants YouTube page. Giants fans are very excited to see the Giants in the playoffs. Little TJ posted to his Instagram story saying, hey, we are in. The New York Giants making a postseason appearance for the first time since 2016. They still have one game left in the regular season at Philadelphia. Brian Dable already said guys are going to play in that game, Shaun.
Yeah, and I think it's all about, you know, you want the confidence, but you want that continuity. You don't want guys to, you know, it's the argument about rest versus rust. And it's funny because Bob Papa was giving us a history lesson earlier on in the show on the Giants, and this kind of brought me back to 2007. We had to win in Buffalo, Week 16, in order to clinch a playoff spot. We did that, and then the next week we were playing the Patriots. We could not improve our position. Of course, they were undefeated. They were 15-0 at that time, and Coach Coughlin said, look, we're playing to win the game. Like, there's no resting anybody. You tell me what player's going to get hurt, and I'll sit him out right now, but we're playing to win. And that, even though we lost that game, that helped us build our confidence, and it helped us throughout the playoff run. And it was because of the way we played in that game against the best that we were able to carry that out through the postseason. So I expect Dable to do the same, and I expect the team to respond as well.
We all remember how that postseason ended.
No question about it, Madelyn. And I was on the other side of that because I was a member of the Dallas Cowboys. And I can attest to it. The New York Giants had a ton of momentum, and they had a lot of chemistry. They necessarily didn't have the most talent, but they were playing as the best team in the playoff field. And I think that is why you play your starters in the regular season finale, even though it doesn't mean anything.
Did you go to Cabo too?
All right, well, we will be here next week for more Giants Post-Game Live as we wrap up the season finale. For Shaun O'Hara, Chris Canty, I'm Madelyn Burke. Gatorade Bath, the Giants are headed to the playoffs. See you next week.
Happy New Year!
Giants are going to go to the postseason. Final seconds. Kickoff.